about this fall camp versus last year?
Just about everything, honestly. We got some familiar faces around, some coaches, some players, but for the most part, there's a lot of new guys, and that's a good thing. And I think the guys that Coach Freeze has brought in are his caliber guys. They're high character guys, they're like-minded guys, and so you have more of the same people around, I would say, which has been great. It's been easy to work with, and then obviously there's more talent out there as well. So it's been really fun working these past few months, and obviously right now is the team that we have, and so this is what we're going with.
Saturday scrimmage, you guys got to work in front of everybody. What do you think you still need to work on a little bit?
Yeah, it's tough going out there and scrimmaging like that. You want to compare it to a game, but at the same time, it's not. We're thudding most of that day on scrimmage, so you never really know how many yards you're gaining when you're thudding. You fall forward for an extra 3 or 4 sometimes. So you try to keep that in mind when you're watching the film. Offensively, we were frustrated to walk off the field with how the day went, and it was one of our not as good days of camp, I say. But then you go back and watch the film, and like they say, it's never as good, it's never as bad as you think. So just some detailed stuff on Saturday that was getting us. But like I said, we weren't game planning for the scrimmage. We weren't game planning for our defense really. So it's different than an actual game. You have to remember that. Some plays we're out there for the first time playing those plays. It was like a practice, and so. You keep that in mind, but some guys show some good flashes, obviously, and I thought the defense did a lot of good things too.
You mentioned some guys who showed some flashes. Malcolm Simmons got a lot of attention after Saturday. What can you say about what makes him special?
Yeah, well, first thing that starts with him is his speed. He can fly, and that's obviously showing his track speed and then his jumping ability. So I think his Instagram is like freak something, and that lives up to the name. He's a freak. But you look out there, we got a lot of guys like that. We got a lot of guys that can run in that room, and then we got a lot of guys that shake in that room too, and can run, and that's a rare combo. And so, as a whole, our receiver is obviously, you guys know, a lot different than it was last year. And so, a guy like Malcolm, he had a good day Saturday, and other guys have shown up consistently throughout camp as well, having good days.
You mentioned during media days how kind of with all the new receivers, the those have some dirty offers and how important those were. How have you seen that, I guess, kind of hidden so far through fall camp, and what has it been like, practicing now with all those guys?
Yeah, obviously you spend a lot of time in the summer with those guys. Perry and Malcolm are 2 guys that showed up in the summer, so it's harder to. They're a little bit behind in that aspect because they just didn't have the time that everybody had. So trying to catch up those guys as fast as possible. But guys like Cam, he's a different type of receiver. You throw him different kind of balls. They don't necessarily have to do things the same way as you do with a guy who might be 5'11", 6 foot, and can't jump and touch the ceiling right here. So Cam, throw him different balls and let him go play, let him go be him. And other guys who work with different things and ball speed. Also time, there's somewhere else where you got to bend this off at a certain angle, and it's not always the same angle. So let's get on the same page with that stuff and hit the guy, in the head with the ball, and then catch him out. So that's been good.
And I know you're on the other side of the ball from Coach Durkin, but when you guys go team, what do you admire about the way that he coaches that unit up, and what have been your takeaways getting to know him?
The energy that he brings is like, you can tell with the way our defense practices every single day that there's a whole new energy. Not that our defense last year didn't have energy. Our defense played well last year. I thought we got a lot of good players over there, but I think we got a lot of good players again this year. And so that's a positive. But I might have mentioned this at media day. I think someone told me on the defense that if you don't celebrate, it gets counted as a loaf, and I think that's awesome. And so everybody on the sideline is always up. They don't have a day where they don't have juice. And so obviously that comes from the guy who's in control of them, and that's Coach Durkin. The other coaches are obviously enforcing it, and then the leaders on that side of the ball are doing that. And also it's an everybody thing. You have to make that decision that I'm going to show up with some juice, and a lot of times you got to fake it till you make it. With certain guys, you might be having a bad day, but you might not be excited, but you get a loaf if you don't move around. So you better get your blood moving. So that's been great to see. It's been great to practice against, honestly.
What happens if you get too many loaves? Is there a punishment?
Probably. I'm not sure. Like you said, I'm not on that side of the ball. I'd have to ask my guys.
What about Art Bouncy? Can you explain how he's developing?
Yeah, he's cleaned up some things in the summer that that just in the first few 7-on-7s you saw, and it was like, okay, that's, you know, a young receiver, and that's just because he is. You know, he came right out of high school, and a lot of things that he was doing, you could get away with in high school because you're that much more athletic than everybody. And obviously, he is another freak. You know, he weighs 220 pounds as a freshman and can run. And so, I saw him getting cleaned up in like 2 or 3 weeks, honestly. And they're not really easy things to like break the habit of. And so he obviously worked at it and did a really good job. And so he is quickly materializing into a guy that will get a position.
How nice is it to have a brain of Ken Austin?
We were going over some stuff today that was just really refreshing to be going over, and it's just next level stuff. You know, that we're going to sit down and break down the defense, and the detail that we go into is going to be awesome. And so, for me, you know, that's huge for me. Obviously, now that I'm a veteran guy and I've been around for quite a while now in the college game, and so you know, take it to that next level as a unit. As me and Coach Austin, me and Coach Freed, the exact same thing we're seeing when we do game plan the team, like I was talking about earlier. I feel like we're really going to be locked in, and we're looking at locked in on what our plan is for that team.
How has Sam been as a teammate again?
Awesome. I love that guy. He's one of the best people that I've ever met, and he works his butt off. He had a really good day today at practice, and it's crazy watching him. You know, he's in a whole different, you know, area, just like the freshmen are in a different area. They're brand new. Well, you know, he's brand new to receiver. You know, to receiver in 5 years, and so seeing the progress that he's made just over the last 3 months is crazy. He was already a really, really good athlete. Another guy with the freaking camera for sure. The way that some of the stuff that he can do, and you know, he's a guy that's going to keep taking strides because it's still new to him, and I think he's really getting the hang of it and having a lot of fun.
Can you take us through the receiver, the tight end room a little bit? You have Valdo, Brandon, Luke, Mike, all looking like they can contribute.
Absolutely. Obviously, start with Valdo. I'm pretty sure he was all SEC last year, I think. And a really talented guy. You know, obviously put together as well for a tight end. And he's got probably the strongest hands I've ever seen, honestly. So you should give him a chance, and there's a good chance that he's going to come down. And so he's been great, and he's progressing still and getting better, and he's had stuff that he wants to work on. I think he does a good job with that. And then you go to you know, Big Frage. He's a talented guy too. He's a Division I basketball player, you know, back in the day. So he's a guy who can do a lot of things, and he's underrated as a pass catcher. Honestly, he's really good getting open, and then also when the ball's thrown to him, he comes down with that thing, and he's proven that over practice and games. And then Luke is obviously a captain from last year who brings different things to the table. Really good in the run game. He can catch balls if he needs to, and as a leader of that room. And then, like I said, Mike is getting older as it goes, and I know he's working on things as well and showing up on the field.
Kind of revolving back, especially with the wins you got for season last year. How much does that help you when you've got so many pieces coming in, having your tight end who you've already more familiar with?
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things we did last year. It's almost like, what can you learn from last year, and what can you take from the positive last year? I guess I never threw to the tight end as much as I did last year, so it's building my part, or a part of my game that I didn't do before, I guess. And so we'll carry that over into this year, and you have confidence throwing to a guy like that. And then also, now you know they can't double team him anymore. I think you said that the other day. There are times we get in the red zone, they cloud coverage to him, so they do a weird throwing, stop route, go route to him. And if they do that this year now, they're going to be light elsewhere, whether that's in the box or to the field. And so don't think they're going to be able to do that this year, which is good. And it'll open up more of our passing game, having more time out there.
You mentioned that's the most you've done to your tight end before. How much does having somebody like that open up the offense, and how much easier is it to work out?
It's just another good skill player. Obviously, he's a mid-skill, we call it, but having a tight end that can work on linebackers is huge. As the game changes, you got more and more athletes playing linebacker, more guys that can run really well at linebacker, so it's not as much of an advantage as I guess it used to be back in the day, but it still is. If you have a good tight end, you should be a linebacker 7, 8 times out of 10. And I think Valdo can do that for sure. And so it allows you to have getting spread formations and let your tight end go to work sometimes. So that definitely helps.
Payton, one of the things we heard from Coach also is your complete command of the offense, and talked a little bit about checking at the line and things like that. How much do you expect to do of that this year compared to last year, being able to adjust on the fly?
quite a bit more, honestly. You know, last year was obviously, like I've said before, a unique situation. It was weird. There was a lot of things that were out of my control, and that was one of them. But now, with us all being on the same page about what we're doing, and we're still materializing some of that stuff, and we're still working through the specifics of certain things. But from week-to-week basis, I think that, like Coach said, I feel really good with where we're at right now. And I feel like I have a really good understanding of what Coach Freeze is trying to do, Coach Nix is trying to do, and what Coach Austin sees. And so, if we're on the same page and we're seeing things the same, Coach is going to have confidence in me to be able to change things up if I need to, and because that's what he would do, you know, if he was there. So it's been great. It's been really fun. And it's a part of my game that I didn't get to use last year, like you said, very much at all. And I think that we're going to be able to have that as a weapon this year.
Sometimes quarterbacks are only as good as their supporting cast. You don't ever want to say that when things aren't going great, but do you feel better about everything you got around you, the playmakers, the blockers, everything? Maybe just because you've been together for a year.
Yeah, no question about that. I feel like you look at just about any quarterback in this game, people say it's an ultimate team game, and it really is. You know, it's tough. You've seen great quarterbacks in the NFL. You know, if stuff starts to break down around them, they're still good, but they're not the same as they are when they have all their pieces. You know, and so it's definitely a tough situation sometimes. You just have to deal with what you got at times. But like you said, I feel really good with where we're at right now. And like I said before, we still have young guys. You know, we still have 4 freshmen who are potentially going to play for us. You know, that's not exactly one, common, and 2, you know, at the end of the day, they're still young. You know, you can't go out there and expect them to be these seasoned veteran receivers who know everything. There's still going to be some times where you're like, man, what the heck? Like, but yeah, you just remind yourself, hey, this kid was playing high school ball last year. So, you know, Cam has had 1 or 2 times like that, not many, honestly, but having him in the spring has really helped develop him. But yeah, at the end of the day, we have guys around here that can make plays and sometimes turn a 5-yard gain into 20. That helps a lot.
And talking to your coaches today and maybe after the scrimmage, what are the focuses right now in terms of moving forward in fall camp?
Yeah, like I said before, just getting these details together. I feel like we're really on a good track. You know, it's not like we're out here scrambling like, oh my gosh, what the heck? You know, is this, and this. It's just little things. You know, Coach might see something that we think we can tweak to make it a little bit better than it already is, and we'll go ahead and do that. You know, get on the same page, like I said, communicate that to the receivers, to the tight ends, and up front, and make sure everybody is seeing it the same, and then move forward, and then get reps at it. You know, so little things like operation things, getting the ball in, ball handling, in terms of ball carriers, and how that's going to look, tempo, and different things we're doing with that. So just little things, and then Coach Freeze obviously has quite the playbook. So getting his little wrinkles all in there and all ironed out is always fun.
He mentioned last week you guys only had a couple days left of install. Have you guys finished installing the playbook?
I don't think so. You know, the last couple days we kind of haven't really put much into kind of trying to bang out the things that we've had in. And like we said, get everybody knowing exactly what we're doing on that and make sure there's no indecision on that. And I'm sure we're going to do a couple more things here in the next couple of days. I think we have 5 more days of true camp left, and then unfortunately school starts.